What's going on, everyone? Ethan Ader here, and I'm going to be showing you all a feature that I use a lot in my Spektrum radios, and that is the model templates function. I use this pretty much every time I create a new model because it saves me a lot of time, and it can save you all a lot of time too, in the sense that you can pretty much pre-configure any switches, dual rates, expo, pretty much anything you want pre-programmed, you can have it with the model templates. Now I'm going to be showing you how to create a model template and also how to delete one if you find that you do not need it anymore. So without further ado, check this out. Starting out at the very beginning, I'm going to go ahead and just create a brand new model. This is going to be a regular acro model, as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and create this model. So the first thing that I usually do whenever I create a brand new model is I set up the wing type and tail type configuration. So going to System Setup, I'm going to select the aircraft type. Let's say that I want this preset model template to be for a giant scale 3D airplane. So typically, giant scale 3D airplanes have 2 servos per wing. So we're going to go over to 4 aileron, basically 2 servos per aileron. For the tail on a giant scale 3D airplane, there's 2 servos for the elevator and 1 for the rudder. Going to dual elevator, you can see that there are 2 servos per elevator and 1 per rudder. Back at the function list, the second thing that I want to set up for this model template is the rates and expo. Typically, I like to assign all of my dual rates and expo to switch F. So basically, I'm going to go down here to the switch selector, activate switch F, and I'm going to do this for the elevator and also the rudder. On a giant scale 3D airplane, I like to have anywhere from 50 to 60% expo, so I'm going to go ahead and set the expo for all of the surfaces. Typically on the rudder, I like to run 10% less expo than whatever the expo is set for the other surfaces. And the last thing that I want preset on this model template is a throttle curve. Typically, I like to run a high idle and low idle, all with switch A right here, which is the back left switch. So to do that, I'm going to go into throttle curve, flip switch A. For curve 0, I just want a linear curve, and I can just adjust this depending on the model. Now for curve 1, I like to have a little bit of a more high idle. So to activate that, I'm in curve 1, going to select position 1, so then whenever the switch is in position 1, curve 1 is activated. So I'm going to bump this up to 6%, and again, I can just adjust this as necessary depending on the model. With the model name set to whatever I want the name of the template to be, I'm going to select back. Now going to Model Utilities, you can see that there is an option at the bottom that says Export as Template. I'm going to select that. Now for the category, you want it to be Model Import/Export. We're going to skip on the options for now. That'll be the last thing that we select. For the folder, you want to make sure that it says Templates. The SD card is internal, so it's utilizing the internal SD card of this transmitter, and the status is ready. So going to the options, we're going to select Export Model. And as you can see, it's going to save to Giant Scale 3D. When the export is complete, it's just going to put you back at the SD card menu. So going back to the list, we're going to go to our main screen and act like we are making a new model. So as you can see at the very bottom, there is an Add New from Template. So we are going to select that. And as you can see, Giant Scale 3D is right there. So we're going to import. And as you can see, it's going to transfer all of the preset settings that we just made onto this model. And with the new model created from our template, you can see that our rates and expo values that we put into the template are still there. And also, of course, going to our system setup, we can see that the aircraft type values are still there. And of course, in the throttle curve, we also have our throttle curve set and assigned to the correct switch. So just like that, we have saved a ton of time in creating a new giant scale 3D model. Let's just say, for instance, that you created a new giant scale 3D template and you do not want to utilize this one anymore and you just want it wiped off of your radio. That's very easy to do as well. All you have to do is go to System Setup, which is towards the bottom right there. Go all the way down to Transfer SD card. Now for the category, you're just going to go over to File/Folder Management. For the options, you are going to delete a file. As you can see in the folder, we were already set to templates, and there's the file that we want to delete right there. Selecting that will delete the template. So it's as easy as that. Thank you all so much for following along this tutorial. Hopefully you learned something and can save a lot of time when setting up a new model on your Spektrum radio. Be sure to leave the SpektrumRC page a like and follow for more videos like this. We'll see y'all later.